Mr. Director, worry not. We'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
Folks, I just finished watching this congressional hearing with the FBI director, and I've got to tell you, if you still believe our federal government operates without bias, you either haven't been paying attention or you're willfully ignoring reality. Let's talk about what just came out, because it's downright infuriating. First off, the FBI had to arrest a state court judge in Wisconsin for allegedly helping an illegal immigrant escape federal custody. Let that sink in. A judge, someone sworn to uphold the law, allegedly aided and abetted an illegal immigrant to avoid justice. And the director himself said it. No one gets to pick and choose which laws to follow. Equal treatment under the law. Well, at least in theory. Because as we're about to see, equal treatment only seems to apply to some Americans, not all. Asterisk. Remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok? The so-called unbiased FBI officials who were supposed to be protecting the integrity of our elections? The Inspector General found they were openly texting each other about how much they hated Donald Trump, how they wanted Hillary Clinton to win. And the kicker, when Page asked if Trump would become president, Strzok said, No, he won't, we'll stop it. Folks, that's not an opinion. That is a statement of intent from a senior FBI official in the middle of an investigation. If that doesn't scream corruption, I don't know what does. And what happens when these people get caught? Do they face real punishment? No, they get rewarded. The FBI gave Strzok $1.20 million and Lisa Page $800,000 in lawsuit settlements after they were fired. That's our money, folks. Your money, my money. Instead of holding them accountable for undermining an election, the prior administration's attorney general basically signed them a fat check and sent them on their way. And here's where things get even dirtier. The FBI had Hunter Biden's laptop for 10 months before the 2020 election. 10 months. They knew exactly what was on it. The shady foreign business deals, the influence peddling, the stuff that could have changed the outcome of an election. And they sat on it. Instead of being honest with the American people, what happened? 51 former intelligence officials, coordinated by Antony Blinken, put out a letter claiming the laptop story was Russian disinformation. This wasn't some fringe theory. This was a full-blown information operation to mislead voters before an election. And the FBI director sat there knowing it wasn't Russian disinformation and did nothing to set the record straight. Folks, when you combine that with the Strzok/Page scandal, it's crystal clear there's a two-tiered system of justice in this country. If you're a political insider, you get protection. If you're just an ordinary American, you get prosecution.
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI, replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit. because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon to be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Reid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director. As you're well aware,
That's not the
Doge-
republic our founding fathers envisioned. That's a recipe for tyranny. And yes, the Epstein question came up. When asked if Epstein killed himself, the director said he believes Epstein hung himself. Now, maybe you buy that. But after everything we've seen, the cameras magically failing, the guards conveniently asleep. Forgive me if I'm skeptical. The FBI says they're working with the DOJ to release more information while protecting victims. We'll see. But I'll believe it when I see it. Here's the bottom line. This hearing confirms what millions of us already knew. The system is broken, and the people at the top will protect their own at all costs. We can't just sit back and shrug. We have to keep shining a light on these corrupt practices, holding officials accountable, and demanding the truth. Because if we don't, the America we know will disappear before our eyes. If you agree that truth and accountability matter, then don't just click away. Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications, and share this video with every friend who's still on the fence about how deep the corruption runs. We are in this fight together, and I promise you, I'm not backing down. Neither should you. This is Liberty No Apologies News, standing for God, country, and the Constitution. See you in the next one.